Okay, but like first off, can we say that I read 4 physical books? Not a Kindle in sight. Not a Kindle in sight. I'm so proud of myself. Who is she? I don't know. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about 4 recently read romances that I read that I really enjoyed. I usually tend to do my recent reads every couple of months because I don't read enough during the month to do like monthly wrap-ups, and there's no way I could do like mid-month wrap-ups because there's just sometimes by the mid of the month I've read like 1 book. Okay, so she can't do that in this channel. You're not getting that here. But I do want to talk about 4 books that I read recently. So all of these I read in February and then like the beginning of March. If you're new to my channel, the way that I do it, I start with the like back farthest book read. I never understand how to say that, like to where you guys understand. So I start with the book I read furthest back and work my way up to the most recent read. There we go. That makes more sense. I will tell you guys what I thought of the book, what I liked about the book, what the book was about, my rating, all the good stuff, and I keep it spoiler free for you guys. So let's just get into the first book. Okay, so the first book that I read at the beginning of February was Irresistible by Melanie Harlowe, which is book 1 in the Cloverleaf Farm series. Now, if you're new to my channel, hi, hello, thanks for stopping by. But also, you don't know how long this book has been on my TBR. For that prompt, I chose Irresistible by Melanie Harlowe. The book that I chose was a book that you keep putting off. I got this prompt last month and I chose this exact same book because if I got the prompt again this month, it just must mean that I must have to read this book. So I'm doing it again. Irresistible by Melanie Harlowe. The book you keep putting off. You know what? Do you want to know what I chose? I chose the same book that I've chosen the past 3 months. Irresistible by Melanie Harlowe is another Melanie Harlowe. Look, I put this on, this is like my 4th time at this point. If I do not read it this month, you may slap me. I think it originated in like my September, October TBR game. I pulled it out and then I didn't read it. So then I pulled something out. It was like a TBR redo where I had to pick a book from a TBR past. So I picked it again. It was on my TBR a good like 3 or 4 times before I picked it up in February and actually read it. And I'm so glad I did. I loved it. I absolutely loved this book. So I ended up giving it, I think I gave it 5 stars. Let's look. My good old notes. You know how it is. Yes, I gave this one 5 stars. So in this book, you're following Mac and Franny. Okay. Franny's parents own Cloverleaf Farms. So if you think, so it's like a small town, but Cloverleaf Farms is like, you know, like a nice place where people would hold weddings, like that type of thing. That's what Cloverleaf Farms is. It's like an inn. It has a nice place for like receptions and stuff like that. So think of that in your head. So she works there as in the reception area, but her parents own it. And Mac is like the CFO or something with like financing. Okay, so it's like boss's daughter, so it's kind of, he's also about 12 years older than her, so we have the age gap. And she is also technically his nanny because he is a single dad to 3 little girls and she always watches them. So technically it's like taboo in the sense that it's the boss's daughter. It's also technically, you know, he pays her to watch his children, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The 3 kids, there's just something about like a single dad romance. It just hits different than a single mom romance, you know? Like, sure, single mom romance is fine, but what's a single dad? I don't know. Is it like, it's probably like my ovaries that like react to it. That's probably what it is. But you know, he had just recently got divorced from his wife. So he's kind of like, should I even like do anything? So they keep it hush hush for a while because he doesn't want the kids to know. But the kids know. The kids always know, okay? the kids always know. But I really enjoyed this. I loved Franny. I love that she loved to bake. She was always baking or cooking, and that comes into play in the story because she wants to kind of open up her own bakery, and her mom and dad have just been really protective of her whole life for a medical condition that she had. But I loved it. I loved the growth of him, just being like, you know what, I want to be with her. And it was just a great time. Plus, his daughter, if I'm not mistaken, is the heroine in the Next Generation, like the first book in that, I think. So I get to like continue on with them, which is great. But I haven't continued with this series yet. There's like 4 more books. But it's a great time. If you're looking for a single dad, Mac. If you're looking for nanny boss, Mac and Franny. If you're looking for boss's daughter, Mac and Franny. Age gap, Mac and Franny. Like, they will give you so many tropes that you need. Give it a shot. Okay, the next book that I read, like, okay, so here's the thing. In February, did I start 3 new series? Yes, I did. Was that smart of me? Probably not. Because we all know how well I do with keeping up with the series that I read, but it's okay. I had a fun time anyway. So, the next book that I read was Protecting You by Claire Kingsley, which is book 1 in the Bailey Brothers series, but it's technically like a novella. So, like, the couple story starts in this, but it finishes in the second book. So there is like a slight cliffhanger, so to speak, in this book. So in this book, we are following Asher and Grace. Is it Asher and Grace? Yes. It's Asher and Grace, and they lived beside each other for a very long time. Asher was raised by his grandma, and they lived beside Grace, who lived with her mom and her little brother. Her dad was in and out of the picture a lot. Wasn't a very good guy. So when they were younger, they would fight, her mom and dad, and Asher would come over and like protect her. So it's a lot of like protection. He's very protective of her. So you see a little bit of that in the beginning, and then it time jumps to when she is coming home from college for the summer, and he's like, you know what? I have kept my secret. I have kept my feelings for her for so long. But she is gorgeous, and I have to tell her that I love her. So it was very quick. It was like a very quick Insta, I love you, I've loved you forever, it's always been you type of thing. So I'm not a fan of Insta love, but since it was like childhood friends to lovers, I was okay with, because they hadn't just met. They had always loved each other, but they just never told each other. So, okay. Something happens in this book which leads to the cliffhanger for this. At the end of the book, they go out one night, something happens, he protects her, and it results in something even worse happening, and he has to face the consequences of that, which leads into the second book. So I'm not going to spoil it and say what happens, but just know that this man would do anything for Grace, and I absolutely loved it, and I will continue with the series because I need to know how, because I'm not going to say it, but I just need to know how they're going to reconcile what happened in the second book. So I know it's going to be a lot of like hard work getting them back together, but I'm excited and I'm here for the journey. Plus all the side characters, all his brothers, they all get their own book in the series. I mean, I just got a little tidbit of them in this book, but I absolutely loved them. They were hilarious. I need to know more. I gave this one 3 stars, but not because I didn't like it, but just because it was so short. And I would have liked more, but I get it why it was a novella, but don't mind me, you know, my ratings for me and myself alone, so. But I still really enjoyed it. Okay, the next book that I read was King of Wrath by Anna Huang, and this is book 1 in the Kings of Sin series that she has started. And in this book, we are following Dante and Vivian. Dante is he's not really like a playboy, but he's known for being like a bachelor. He's a billionaire. He's got a lot of money. And Vivian is an event planner. Her family is like new money. So, you know, as soon as when I hear of new money, I think of Titanic, because you had like the old money and then the new money, and like Molly Brown was like new money. A tangent, but that's what I think of when I think of new money. Anyway, so her parents own like a jewelry company, and it's like new money. And they want to be established in this high society world. So they're like, you know what? You're about 30. Is she about 30, 20? I think she's 28. And they're like, you're not married yet, so we're going to arrange marriage for you, which she kind of knew was happening in her life. She knew that probably that was going to be the case, but she's just like, okay. She goes to dinner to meet who she's going to marry, and it's none other than Dante. Good old Dante. This book has the arranged marriage trope. It has forced proximity, because even though they decide not to get married right away, they give each other like a year. Her dad's like, okay, well, you at least are going to move in with him so you can give up the persona that you guys are together. So she ends up moving in with him. So there's the forced proximity, even though they're in separate bedrooms at first. But Dante is very possessive, okay? Like, even though he doesn't really want to be in this marriage, because the reason why he agreed to this was because her dad is blackmailing him for something. So that's why he's in it. He's in it to take down her father. There's like no feelings involved. He's like, I'm just going to take down the family and that'll be that. But he soon learns that he's a very jealous guy, and he's very possessive, and he's very touch her and die vibes, and I'm here for it. This isn't mafia or anything, but he's still very possessive, very alpha, and I highly enjoyed it. Like, I can't wait. Oh, and if you're a fan of her Twisted Love series, characters from that book are in this book. So, like, it's the same world. So, if you enjoyed those, I think you would enjoy this one too. So, I gave it a 5 stars. I can't wait for the second book. And then the last book that I just read, and I just finished it yesterday, is On the Way to You by Candy Steiner. I gave this book 5 stars. Now, look, I am biased as heck because Candy Steiner is my favorite author, but I feel like this is very underrated and not enough people were talking about this book. It was so good. It was, if you're looking for like a road trip vibe, this is this, because it takes place on a road trip. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In this book, we're following Cooper. Cooper is our heroine. She has lived in her small town in Alabama all her life. She did not grow up in the greatest environment, and her parents weren't the best parents, and she's wanted to get out. She wants to work in naturalistic medicine. Okay, think of like holistic medicine, because when she was younger, she was in a car accident and she lost her leg due to that accident. And instead of painkillers, she's always looking for different types of like healing techniques, you know, and that got her on the path of the naturalistic medicine. So one day she's working at a diner and a guy comes in, a very good looking guy, and that would be our hero named Emery. She finds out that he is going cross country to Seattle, which just happens to be the place that she wants to go to school. And he asks her, he's like, do you want to come? And she's like, I don't know you. That's stupid. I can't go with you. And he's like, okay. Well, she ends up going. Okay. She thinks, you know, what do I have here anyway? So she ends up going, and it's just their trip from Alabama all the way up to Seattle. And I loved it. But do be warned, there are trigger warnings in this book. It is a deeper book. There is representation for mental illness, specifically depression, and it does talk about suicide in this book. So be forewarned. I did not know that going in, but that's not a trigger for me, but I know that it can be for other people. So just know that it is talked about heavily in this book. But okay, I am a therapist at a mental health clinic. So reading this book felt like I was talking to a client. I think she did the representation so well. And the feelings that the character felt in this book, and how they were represented, I think would speak volumes to people who, one, deal with depression, but two, have someone in their life that deals with depression. So I thought this book was great. I loved this book. I loved the journaling aspect of it because the hero journals. But I'm not going to say anything else. Just kind of go in. If that's not a trigger for you, just give it a shot if you haven't read it. Such a beautiful story. I loved like getting to read all the places they stopped along the way. and all like the little people that they met along the way. Great story. 5 stars, absolutely. Like, there's nothing else that I would ever give a Kandi Steiner book, but 5 stars. And those are the 4 books, or 4 romance books that I've read recently. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what was one of your most recent reads. I'd love to know, but if you don't want to leave a comment, leave me the car emoji, because the last book was about a road trip, and cars, road trips, duh, they go together. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. I would love to have you join the family. My social media is linked down below as always, my Goodreads and my Instagram, if you want to stay more up to date and day to day with what I am reading. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. Should I do like this? Should I do like this? I don't know. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna try. I hate thumbnails. I really do. I just really do. These, if you're new to my channel, what I do is I will typically, no, not typically, I do it every single video. What are you talking about? They live beside Grace, who